Oh, the humanity of the mentality of the Darlie Routier supporters is it never ceases to amaze me. That's why I stay on this daily. This is like, I mean, this is something that means something to me. And so I stay on it daily. I can learn daily about this case. I've learned from everybody involved in this case, including Danelle, and sometimes Sully. But it's because I'm there. When you're speaking on it, it's like when you advocate for something that I believe in, which is Devin and Damon were killed by their parents, by their mother, and their parents are not being honest. So I believe in that. That's something that it's a cause to me that's worth me taking up. Just as it would be, again, as if I was out in public and I saw somebody abusing a child or being overly harsh with the child or something, I would step in. Just like I would if I was out in public somewhere, and I have, and a man is being really harsh on a female. That's worked both ways for me. Uh, I had an abusive girlfriend, my twins' mom. You know, everybody knows. People that know me, they know that story that I had with her. But the thing of it is, this is this is the mentality that Darrin Gross. He's in one of the documentaries. I'm gonna find the clip, but he was really strong for Darlie. Yeah, I've had him on my show. Nice guy. Debated him a couple times. A real nice guy. Cared a lot about Darlie, but he was sticking up for her, going on TV and doing shows about her, and down there at the convoy for Darlie, that down there, you know, he was there speaking out for her. And apparently, she broke up with him. The story is that she broke up with him on, you know, on Valentine's Day. That she just couldn't be with him. She just wasn't. He just wasn't her type of guy. You know what I mean? Because her standards are so high, you know, that she just, no, there's something about you that isn't right. She told Darrin Gross from behind bars on death row in Texas. You know, it's not you, it's me. But he's all right. I stop in and see his page every now and then. I've talked to him a few months ago. I asked him how he was doing. You know, he's just blah blah blah. Nobody in his life. I ain't got nothing against the guy, but here he's speaking about Donald Trump. Rusty Wright, you know, is standing up for Trump, and Darrin Gross is not, which is fine. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a Trump supporter, and I don't go after people that support Trump or don't support Trump. I don't do that. But don't come to me. If you come to me, like I had somebody on my channel recently that I really enjoyed having them there, and the comments they leave and the interactions with it was Blind Guy 666. If you notice, he's not on my channel anymore because he came in there and started degrading people that supported Trump. I didn't warn him. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't go off on him. I didn't even respond to him. I just removed him from my channel. And that's somebody that I like. So I'm not gonna listen to it. I put up my Trump videos that if you like him, you do. If you don't, you don't. But he says, Rusty Wright, you voted for a reality TV guy who's 34-time convicted felon. So if that's your idea of what American is, we're all fucked. But free Darlie. This is the mentality of the Darlie Routier supporters. So I'd like to draw attention to I believe it is Good Morning Britain, Darlie Routier, with Susanna Reid. That was done in 2020. And she met up with Darrin Gross. So keep in mind that he's giving somebody crap for voting for Donald Trump, who has these convictions. I think it was all a money thing. I think he's innocent of it. But, he was found guilty of this. They just gave him no time because they thought it was all bullshit. But at any rate, he is a convicted felon. I did vote for him. I get it. I understand. But Darlie Routier is a convicted felon too, who killed her children. And so that's our mentality. Our mentality is fucked up because we voted for Donald Trump. But Darrin Gross's isn't, because he loves Darlie Routier.
To find out about a man who falls in love with a woman who's on death row. Darrin, hi. I'm really looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah,
how are you
nice to meet
doing?
you.
Really
Good,
nice
good.
to meet you. So what are we doing here?
Well, I'm gonna be looking at rings for Darlie.
Wow.
And I'm not exactly, I think I know what she likes.
Right, but she can't be with you here today.
No, she can't.
So should we go inside and have a look?
There you go, after you.
Thanks very much.
Hello. Good
Hi, how are
afternoon.
you?
Amazing.
Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Pleasure.
This isn't for me, by the way.
It's 14 karat yellow gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a half a carat of diamonds in here. They're all about 1 point apiece.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Does that look like something that Darlie would like?
She would love this, absolutely. That really has a real amazing
It blends
sparkle
in.
to it.
Yes, it does.
So how much does that?
8,000.
8,000. Does it put it into sort of stark focus when you actually look at something and someone mentions a price?
I mean, it's something that's forever, so, can't really put too much of a price tag on that.
Darrin, people will ask themselves what sort of a man proposes to a woman like Darlie.
I know that when I say it, I've seen the look in people's face. It's like a deer in the headlights. There's a blank look. And I know exactly what they're thinking. And I would have done that if somebody told me that. I understand it's not typical, it's not normal. But, it just happened. I was writing to her. I knew she was innocent, and I wanted to know what I could do to help. But as time went on, and I started reading her letters, the more I got to know her, the more I started to care about it. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Did she invite you to visit? Did you ask to visit?
A bit of both, yes.
And can you remember what you felt?
Well, that first time I just felt intimidated by the prison, and worried about like doing something wrong,
It's not very romantic, is it?
No, it's not romantic at all. Now when we see each other, it's extremely comfortable because we just get snacks from the vending machine and we kind of have our snacks together. It actually does feel more like a date now.
So when you buy snacks from the vending machine, you can't give those to Darlie, can you?
No, they go to a guard who brings it around to her.
So you can share food together
Right.
and chat and flirt, presumably.
Yeah, a little bit.
You've been married before, haven't you?
I have, yes. But she passed away from cancer, and life changes. So, I mean, in the past, I've had the normal life.
You were married before that, weren't you, as well?
Right. Right. Yes, I've had 2 wives that have passed away from cancer, and it seems bizarre, and it's like, wow, I've really, the luck of the draw, it's insane. The odds are astronomical, really, but it happened, and I've been alone now for 6 years. So when I fell in love with Darlie, it was quite a surprise to me.
What if it's true? And what if Darlie did murder those 2 little boys? Could you still love her?
Absolutely not. I mean, I know for a fact that she didn't.
What makes you so sure?
I know when I talk to Darlie, I am not talking to a person capable of doing what she's accused of. She has no history of mental illness before or after. You know, she's been offered to plead guilty and get off of death row. She won't do it. She's not guilty.
That is a lie. And he got that shit from the family. When you make a plea, she can't come back and plead guilty to something she was already convicted of. She was never offered a deal from the state to get her off of death row. That never happened. Never. That's a fucking lie. And you can look at my channel. Just type in deal on my channel. I explain it more. But that's a lie. Darlie never did that. Darlie never said, no, I'm not, because I didn't do it. I don't want, that's a lie. It just pisses me off.
Because she will never, you know, plead guilty to this heinous crime. Not to mention, she wants to make sure that justice someday is served for her children.
Death row prisoners on average spend 10 years behind bars until their execution. In the 23 years Darlie has been incarcerated, more than 1,000 people have been put to death in America.
Executing people does not solve crime. If it did, Texas would be crime-free by now.
It doesn't. It doesn't solve the crime. But that's what you get. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
How close are you to getting Darlie in?
Okay, so I also want to focus in on this. This woman, Susanna Reed, was disgusted by having to go talk to Darlie. I wonder what she thought of Darrin Gross, who thinks that if we vote for a president that has a felony, that America's just going to hell. And not to mention that, he comes out and he does that really nice thing for her, speaks up for her, and then she breaks up with him on Valentine's Day. That's the story. That's the way I heard it. But check this out.
New trial.
Susanna Reed, in emotionally challenging position as she holds back tears while filming. Susanna Reed, a host on Good Morning Britain, has spoken out on being put in an emotionally challenging position as she worked on a new project for ITV thousands of miles away from her family. Susanna Reed, 49, has admitted that working on her ITV documentary Death Row's Women, that saw her come face to face with child murderer Darlie Routier in a Texas prison, was difficult as she quietly missed her boys. The GMB host shared that it was tough to sit opposite a woman who had killed her offspring, and she even began to feel nauseous about the situation. Darlie isn't the first murderer I've faced, but interacting with a mother who has done this most unnatural thing in the world is one of the most emotionally challenging situations I've ever been in for work. And the case is far from clear-cut. Now 50, Darlie always protested her innocence, and there are many who support her assertions that an intruder killed her sons. They range from her ex-husband and surviving son, now 25, to the friends who say she's been wrongfully painted as a sadistic killer, and the experienced appeals lawyer who says no one will ever convince him of her guilt. See, the man that you saw sitting there professing his love for convicted murderer Darlie Routier, he wonders, you voted for a reality TV guy who's a 34-time convicted felon. So if that's your idea of what an American is, we're all fucked. Free Darlie.